Hey, English learners! Welcome back to another episode of the Fluent English Podcast, your go-to audio space for real talk, useful strategies, and natural English listening practice.
Yes, welcome back, everyone. This is the place where we break down the real language used in daily life, helping you step away from dry grammar manuals and move toward natural, confident conversations.
So, how are you doing today? Did you have a good week?
It was quite good, thank you, though I had a funny moment yesterday. I went to a local cafe to try a new blend of coffee. When the barista asked me what I wanted, my mind completely froze for a few seconds. I knew exactly what I wanted in my head, but I couldn't find the English words right away.
Ah, the classic mental freeze. Let me guess. You were translating, weren't you?
Oh, absolutely. My brain went straight to my native language first. Then I tried to build a mental bridge to the English words, and by the time I crossed that bridge, the barista was just staring at me, waiting.
That is such a relatable experience, and it is actually the perfect introduction to our topic for today: how to stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English.
I am really glad we are discussing this today. It is one of the biggest hurdles for language learners, and overcoming it can completely change how you communicate.
Yes, it is a game changer, so let's dive right in. The metaphor, the translation middleman. To start off, let's look at why translating in your head is so exhausting. Why does it make us freeze up like I did at the cafe?
Think of it like a business. Imagine you run a small shop, and every single time you want to talk to a customer, you have to hire a middleman. You tell the middleman what you want to say in your native language. They translate it. They tell the customer. The customer replies, and the middleman translates it back to you.
That sounds incredibly slow.
Exactly. It takes twice as long, and that middleman charges a very high tax on your mental energy. By the end of a short conversation, your brain feels completely drained.
The translation middleman. I really like that picture. He is constantly taking our energy and slowing down our conversations.
Yes. If we want to speak smoothly, we need to fire the middleman and speak directly to our listeners.
But how do we actually do that? It feels so automatic to translate.
It does, but thinking in English is a skill you can train, just like going to the gym. Today, we have 5 simple, practical tips to help you train your brain to think directly in English.
A story of the bumpy mountain road. Before we share the tips, I want to share a quick story from my own language learning journey. Years ago, when I was trying to learn Spanish, I was obsessed with being accurate. I had a huge bilingual dictionary, and every time I wanted to speak, I would mentally scroll through lists of verbs and nouns, trying to assemble the perfect sentence.
That sounds like a lot of pressure.
It was exhausting. One afternoon, I was at a market trying to buy some fruit. I spent at least 2 minutes standing in front of the vendor, mentally translating my question. "Excuse me, sir, how much do these apples cost per kilogram?" By the time I had the Spanish sentence perfectly prepared in my head, I looked up, and the vendor had already moved on to help someone else.
Oh no, that is painful, but so common.
It was a big wake-up call for me. I realized I was taking a slow, bumpy mountain road instead of just stepping onto the highway. I was trying to be perfect instead of just communicating. After that day, I decided to change my approach entirely.
And that is exactly what we want to help our listeners do today. Let's look at our first tip to get onto that highway.
Tip 1. Label your world. Tip number 1. Label your world.
Labeling, like using physical sticky notes?
You can use real sticky notes if you want, but mental labels are even better. Many learners look at an object, think of the word in their native language first, and then translate it to English. Instead, we want to build a direct connection.
How does that work in practice?
It is very simple. Throughout the day, look at things around you and name them directly in English. When you see a cup, don't think of your native word first. Just look at it and let the word cup pop into your mind. When you look out the window, think tree, car, sky.
Ah, so you are skipping the middleman entirely. You go straight from the physical object to the English word.
Exactly. You are bypassing your native language. Start with simple nouns around your house or office. It takes only a few seconds, but it starts rewiring your brain.
I used this technique when I was restarting my language studies, and it really helped. It makes the words feel like they belong to the objects, rather than just being translations of my native words.
Tip 2. Use an inner monologue. Let's move on to tip number 2. Use an inner monologue.
An inner monologue is just that quiet voice inside your head, right?
Yes, the voice we use to talk to ourselves. Most of the time, our inner voice speaks in our native language, but you can make a conscious choice to turn on the English channel.
Turning on the English channel. I like that. How do we do it?
Start by narrating your daily actions. When you are alone or just thinking to yourself, describe what you are doing in simple English. For example, I am walking to the kitchen. I am making tea. The water is hot. This mug is blue.
That sounds very natural and low stress because nobody is listening to you.
Exactly. There is zero pressure. You don't have to worry about making mistakes because you are only talking to yourself.
I had a student who struggled with speaking anxiety. She started doing this for just 5 minutes every morning while making her breakfast. After a couple of weeks, she told me that English words started coming to her much faster during her actual classes.
It really works. It prepares your brain to produce English without waiting for a conversation to start. Badari. Tip 3, the 5-second guessing game. That leads us to tip number 3, play the 5-second guessing game.
What is the guessing game?
Many learners have a habit of stopping whenever they don't know a specific word. They immediately reach for a translation app to look it up. But when you do that, you invite the translation middleman right back into your mind.
Yes, it breaks the flow of your thoughts.
Exactly. Instead, when you don't know a word, give yourself 5 seconds to guess or to describe it using simpler English words. If you forget the word colander, don't translate it. Just think, the plastic bowl with holes for water. If you forget the word curtains, think the fabric on the window.
That is such an important skill. It is like finding a detour when a road is blocked instead of just parking your car and giving up.
Yes, detours are wonderful. In real life, native speakers forget words all the time and describe them instead. Learning to describe things in simple English keeps your brain in English mode.
It really builds your confidence too, because you realize you can communicate even when you don't know every single word.
Tip 4, watch out for the fluency trap. Now, let's talk about an obstacle we need to avoid. Tip number 4, watch out for the fluency trap.
What is the fluency trap?
The fluency trap is the belief that you must think in highly complex, perfect sentences from day one. Many learners try to translate deep, complicated thoughts from their native language directly into English, and they get stuck because they don't have the advanced grammar yet.
Yes. They want to say something very philosophical, but their English level is intermediate, so they freeze.
Right! That is like trying to run a marathon before you can walk. It leads to frustration, and it forces you to translate. Instead, accept where you are and keep your thoughts simple. It is much better to think, the weather's nice today, I want to go walk, than to struggle to translate a complex sentence about the philosophical beauty of the autumn leaves.
That is a great point. Keep it simple, keep it direct. Simple English is still real English.
Absolutely. Fluency starts with simple, connected thoughts, not complex, translated ones. Tip 5. Build a monolingual bubble. Finally, we have tip number 5. Build a monolingual bubble, Waz.
A monolingual bubble? That sounds like a safe space.
It is. It means creating small periods of time where you only interact with English, with absolutely no translation allowed. It doesn't have to be all day. Even 15 minutes is a great start.
How do we set up this bubble?
During these 15 minutes, make a rule that you will only read, listen, or think in English. If you read an article, don't look up translations. If you listen to a podcast, just try to get the general meaning. If your brain tries to translate, gently pull it back to the English words.
I used this exact method when I was trying to improve my listening skills. At first, it felt a bit uncomfortable because my brain wanted to translate everything to feel safe. But after a few days, my brain adapted. It realized, okay, we are in the English zone now. No middlemen allowed.
Yes, our brains are incredibly adaptable. Giving your brain a dedicated translation-free space forces it to start connecting English words directly to meanings and feelings. A tiny word tour. We used some very interesting and important words today, and we want to make sure you feel comfortable using them. Let's do a quick word tour to define them and see how they work in sentences.
Great idea. Let's start with the word middleman. A middleman is a person who goes between two people to help them communicate or do business. In our podcast today, we used it as a metaphor for translation.
For example, you could say, I want to speak directly to my friends and fire the translation middleman in my head.
Next, we used the word scenic. Scenic means having beautiful natural scenery, but we used it to describe a long, indirect route.
Yes, like in this sentence, translating word for word is like taking the scenic route to express a simple thought.
Then we mentioned monologue. A monologue is a long speech by one person, or a quiet conversation you have with yourself in your mind.
For example, using an inner monologue in English is a great way to practice speaking without any pressure.
We also used the verb narrate. To narrate means to tell a story or to describe events as they are happening.
Like in this sentence, you can narrate your daily routine, like making coffee or cleaning your desk, to practice thinking in English.
Next is detour. A detour is a longer or alternative route taken to avoid an obstacle or a blocked road.
For example, if you forget a specific word, don't stop talking. Take a mental detour and describe the object instead.
Then we had philosophical. Philosophical relates to deep, complex thoughts about life, knowledge, and reality.
Like in this sentence, don't worry about expressing deep philosophical ideas in English when you are still learning the basics.
We also used the word monolingual. Monolingual means using or knowing only one language.
For example, creating a monolingual bubble for 15 minutes a day helps your brain adapt to English mode.
Finally, we used the verb adapt. To adapt means to adjust or change to suit new conditions or a new environment.
Like in this sentence, your brain will quickly adapt to thinking in English if you practice a little bit every day. Simple action steps for today. Now that we have explored these concepts, let's give our listeners some simple, practical steps they can take today.
All right, let's keep it very practical.
Step 1. Pick one object near you right now. Look at it and think of the English word for it directly. Do not say the word in your native language first.
Step 2. Narrate one simple action you do in the next hour. For example, I am picking up my keys, or I am opening the door.
Step 3. The next time you forget a word, do not open a dictionary app immediately. Give yourself 5 seconds to describe it using simpler words.
Step 4. Say something kind to yourself when you manage to think of an English word directly. Celebrate those small successes.
Recap and conclusion. Let's do a quick recap of our 5 tips for today so you can carry them with you.
Tip 1. Label your world to build direct connections between objects and English words.
Tip 2. Use an inner monologue to narrate your daily tasks in simple English.
Tip 3. Play the 5-second guessing game to handle forgotten words without translating.
Tip 4. Watch out for the Fluency Trap and keep your sentences simple and direct.
Tip 5. Build a monolingual bubble for 15 minutes a day to give your brain a translation-free zone.
That is a wonderful set of tools to start practicing. Your time and energy are incredibly valuable, and by practicing these steps, you are investing in a smoother, more confident version of yourself.
Absolutely. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to take small steps, fire the translation middleman bit by bit, and enjoy the process.
Now, we have a question for you. What is one object near you right now that you can label directly in English? Let us know in the comments. Your answer might inspire another listener to start their practice too.
And if this episode was helpful to you, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who is working on their language skills.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. You didn't just listen. You invested this time in your growth. We are very proud of you.
This has been the Fluent English Podcast. Until next time, keep your practice simple, use your time well, and be kind to yourself.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care.